right. Well, congratulations on the film. This is exciting to see. I mean, it's we've seen Metallica on the big screen before, but not quite like this. So it's got to be pretty cool even for you to see it.
Yeah, no, it's been an incredible journey. It's very rewarding when you see something like this come to life, and you've spent time and you've had that bumpy road as well. It hasn't been all peaches and cream. We're all very creative and very collaborative as well. We have our ideas, and you will clash, but at the end of the road, we have total respect for everybody. Nimrod's been amazing. Production team's been incredible, but we're very proud of this unique experience.
Yeah. When I saw you got a writing credit on as well, so I mean, it's got to be interesting to be a part of that collaborative process to bring something to the big screen.
Absolutely. Anything creative that involves Metallica, the Metallica stamp is always going to be there. There's always going to be that involvement.
Yeah.
We can't help it. It just goes with the territory. In our albums, whatever producer we work with, we're right there, right in the mix. We have a hand in it. Lars is definitely someone who likes to be involved in the creative side, especially with film. I mean, he is such an avid film lover. I mean, it's almost like he's obsessed with it. I think he's more obsessed with it than music, actually.
Are you a big film fan yourself?
I love film. I love filmmaking.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate great movies, of course, but I was in a band years ago called The Infectious Grooves.
Yeah.
Which was an offshoot of Suicidal Tendencies, and I used to direct a lot of the videos. And reuniting with this experience reminds me a bit of those days. I have a documentary film coming out next year about a bass player by the name of Jaco Pastorius, who was a pioneer of the instrument. It's been 3 years in the making. We're making with a film company called Passion Pictures, who released a movie called Searching for Sugarman,
right,
which won an Academy Award last year. So, again, whether it's James Hetfield and making custom cars and building them and designing them and taking them to the custom car shows and winning awards, or Kirk and his horror collection and his book, his monster memorabilia, which is incredible. I mean, there's just a lot of passion-free creativity. So, with the Metallica energy and what we are as a band and the music that we make, it's all a part of the ride.
Yeah.
And Through the Never is a huge extension of that, a scary extension of that.
Yeah. And what a ride it's been too.
Yeah.
I mean, you came in under two very well loved bass players, and now, I mean, it's that had to be kind of nerve wracking. I mean, obviously you got well and way past that, and everyone loves you, but still, like there had to have been some.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's any situation you get into, you're always going to have to face that. There's obviously a fan base that really loved Jason Newsted. I mean, Jason was in the band for 15 years.
Yeah.
I probably was the closest to Jason
Yeah.
when back in the old days when Suicidal Tendencies was actually opening for Metallica. And Cliff Burton, he was such an innovator and an incredible gift to rock and roll and heavy metal. He's such a unique player, and what he brought as a composer. And it's been really great for me to come into this situation, be myself, maintain who I am as a performer and also as a writer, and be able to collaborate with these guys. I mean, I always say, working with Lars and James, like going to the best school of songwriting that you could ever imagine. I learned so much, but at the same time, I learned a lot from Suicidal Tendencies. I learned a lot from playing in Ozzy Osbourne's band. I learned a lot from working with Jerry Cantrell. We made an album together, and he taught me the art of simplicity.
Yeah.
And choosing the right notes. So, I guess in a way, I've been blessed on this journey that I've been on with all these wonderful musicians.
Speaking of which, you probably have a great Ozzy story while we've got you here.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I've got
Probably a whole bunch of them.
them.
What comes to mind when someone asks you about your time there?
Well, Ozzy was, let's say, very interesting. I mean, I grew up playing in backyard party bands at, age 17, playing War Pigs and Iron Man, and it was a very surreal moment when I actually became a member of his band. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget my second gig with him. I'm on stage, we're in Las Vegas, and we go into Iron Man. And I thought to myself, I'm going to mess with this guy. I'm going to get in a sumo position, and I'm just going to creep up on him and try and surprise him. He turns around, he sees me, and he gets in the same body, sort of low center of gravity sumo position, and he starts doing this crab walk with me. And and I always kind of played low center of gravity. I'm a skateboarder and I'm an active surfer. Love snowboarding, and at the time I was doing a lot of that, so we're both crouched down like this, and I'm trying to get lower and he's trying to get lower, and it just stuck. With the next gig, I think, during Sweet Leaf, we get into the same position and we're doing this, and it became our sort of ritualistic tribal dance during his show, and that has stuck with me through all these years. But it was a magic moment because it was this really great connection that we had that really belonged to only us, and it just, I think about it all the time. It was a special moment.
Yeah, and were you a Metallica fan growing up,
yeah,
when you were coming up?
I used to back then it would have been the cassette Walkman.
Yeah.
I used to put my Walkman on and I'd go running up in the mountains before the Suicidal Tendency tours, running on the trails, and I'd listen to Ride the Lightning. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite album at the time. And I'd also listen to Slayer's Rain and Blood, and that would motivate me too. And I always admired their fearlessness. Metallica was always the band that took chances, and I noticed that right from the gate when I joined the band. I mean, my first gig was at San Quentin State Penitentiary, and to me that was a huge challenge. It's like, just getting up on that stage, first gig, not knowing the lay of the land, bumping into James and Kurt and different mic positions. I didn't know that they rotated so much. Seeing all the inmates out there, I was like, this is crazy. But if I go back to the early 90s when we actually toured with Metallica, I remember watching their shows after we opened for them and just thinking, this is so big, it's such a massive machine. It's so incredible. I don't know that I would never ever be able to be a part of that because I don't know how to achieve that.
Right. Well, and here you are. And is there ever any getting used to it? Because, I mean, they have Metallica has the most intense, passionate fans probably in rock and roll. Right. So, and you probably get the brunt of all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, and it never ends because we were just in Asia. Mm-hmm. We were there for close to a month, and we were playing. We had 2 shows in Shanghai, in China, and to be in China in this totally different culture, and to perform for these fans who have never experienced anything like this, and to feel the energy in that room just blossom, to where we know when they left that venue, that their minds were going to be different. They were blown away by what they experienced, and that we could come back and bring more music to them, and more of that energy was really a wonderful experience. And that just happened 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we're still growing, with these unique experiences as a band. That helps us grow.